Revealed, 17-year-old cheerleader's incredible journey from tragedy to life-changing redemption. Mia Carter was the epitome of the all-American girl, bright, ambitious, full of life. Each Friday night, decked out in her orange and black uniform, she would take the field with her cheer squad, rallying crowds under the glow of stadium lights. But behind that infectious smile was a rising tide of uncertainty that threatened to drown her dreams. When her dad, a proud veteran, lost his job overnight, their world flipped upside down. Bills piled up like a mountain in their small kitchen, each one a reminder of how everything could change in an instant. Dinner conversations morphed from laughter and light to hushed arguments over finances. Fights erupted over little things: a misplaced sock here, a forgotten chore there. Mia felt like she was caught in the eye of a storm, the ongoing tension squeezing her heart and making it hard to breathe. At a school, whispers and stares followed her wherever she went. Once celebrated for her cheerleading talent, Mia was now the target of cruel jokes. The vibrant girl who dove into her dreams with both feet now questioned her worth. She felt invisible, trapped in a shadow of her former self. It was like someone snuffed out her spark, leaving only dim echoes of who she used to be. Then came that fateful day. Mia found herself humiliated during a pep rally when a cruel classmate set her up in front of the entire school. Laughter rang out, like nails on a chalkboard, tearing at the threads of her soul. Mia's heart shattered. Without warning, tears filled her eyes, and she ran. It felt like the walls were closing in, and she thought she'd never feel whole again. But just when the darkness seemed unending, her cheer squad rallied around her. They showed up at her front door hours later, holding signs and homemade cookies, their warm hearts glowing in the chilly evening air. "You're not alone, Mia," they shouted in unison, filling the silence that threatened to swallow her whole. Their kindness ignited a flicker of hope. She felt loved, truly loved, reminding her of the power of community and the blessing of friendship. After that moment, Mia dug deep. Fueled by the care from her squad, she worked shifts at a local diner, balancing studies with cheer practice. She pushed herself harder every day, determined to chase her dreams. But fate had more lessons in store. A prestigious scholarship opportunity appeared, offering everything she ever wanted. However, it required moving to a different town, thousands of miles from her family. The dilemma was gut-wrenching. Should she chase her dreams and leave her family behind? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Mia wrestled with her decision, she stood at a crossroads during a quiet moment with her father. The unspoken words hung heavy between them. His eyes spoke of resolve, but also fear of failing her, fear of her leaving. They finally confronted the hopes and disappointments swirling in the air. It was a poignant moment, wrapped in silence and the weight of love. With her heart racing and uncertainty lingering in her mind, Mia realized she had a choice to make. Would she chase her ambitions at the cost of her family? Or would she preserve the bonds that had gotten her through this upheaval? The tension built, leaving readers aching for the answer, wondering what path Mia would take in this journey of resilience and love. Mia stood in the living room, her heart pounding like a drum echoing in her ears. The room felt too big, too empty without the lightness of laughter and warmth of shared moments. Her father, seated on the couch, looked up at her, his eyes reflecting a mix of pride and worry. They had always been close, a tight-knit duo bound by love and unspoken understandings. Now, the air between them cracked with the weight of decisions that could alter their lives forever. "Dad, what do I do?" Mia's voice trembled. Somehow, the question felt heavier than her uncertainty. He took a deep breath, the kind that spoke of a million thoughts crashing together. "Mia, I've always taught you to fight for what you believe in, to go after your dreams." Those words struck her like lightning. They were both a challenge and an invitation, but could she really leave? Her dreams were calling, shimmering just out of reach, while the comfort of home felt so safe, so familiar. But what about us? she murmured, her gaze drifting to the framed pictures on the walls. Each photo was a memory, a moment captured in time, a road trip, family birthdays, Sunday football games. How could she walk away from the love that had carried her through the darkest days? I'll support you, no matter what. The conviction in her dad's voice brought a warmth to her chest, even through the fear. It was a poignant reminder that sometimes, love meant letting go. Hours blurred into days as Mia wrestled with her emotions. She sought refuge in her cheer practice, her body moving with the rhythm of her teammates, yet her heart felt heavy. The stunts and cheers offered a temporary escape. Still, worry lingered like a cloud overhead. What if she wasn't good enough? What if she failed? On one particularly gloomy afternoon, she worked another shift at the diner, trying to pull together her scattered thoughts. As she wiped down a table, her eyes caught a group of customers. A father playfully tossed a pancake to his delighted child, echoing the laughter of the life she cherished. It made her smile until the knife of regret twisted deep. "Hey, you okay?" A familiar voice broke through her thoughts. It was Lisa, her best friend. Her eyes were soft but probing. I don't know," Mia admitted, her facade slipping. "I'm scared, Lisa. What if I leave and everything falls apart? Or what if it doesn't?" Lisa countered gently, taking a seat beside her. "You've earned this. You fought so hard. You have to believe in yourself." Mia felt its weight, the love from her squad, the faith from her family, the dreams that wouldn't let her be. It pushed her, igniting a small flicker of hope among the shadows. "Maybe I could go and still stay connected. I won't forget you, or the family," Mia said, her voice stronger. This realization granted her a renewed sense of clarity. But just as she began to warm to the idea, she received a call that sent her heart racing in a different direction. It was from the Scholarship Foundation, and their words felt like ice. "We need your final decision by the end of the week. It's now or never." The deadline loomed like a storm cloud, threatening to overshadow her newfound clarity. Mia hung up, torn between excitement and fear. In that moment, she faced the truth. She had to confront her emotions and decide what mattered most. As she made her way home, the path felt uncertain. With every step, she felt the swell of hope crashing against the barriers of doubt. She needed to decide not just where to go, but who she wanted to be. With her family's unwavering love and her squad's support echoed in her heart, she felt the pull of both worlds. But the question gnawed at her. Could chasing her dreams coexist with preserving the love that grounded her? Tomorrow would bring the answer, but as she lay in bed that night, lost in thoughts, a whisper in her heart urged her forward. Would she take a leap of faith or keep her feet anchored where safety reigned? The only thing she knew for sure was that she was on the brink of a life-changing moment. The dawn held promises of clarity, but would it reveal the path that Mia was meant to take? Or would her fear of leaving be too great, no matter the cost? Mia tossed and turned, the weight of her decisions pressing down on her like a thick blanket. The sun peeked through her curtains, casting stripes of light across her room, illuminating her doubts. An unsettling mix of excitement and fear lingered in the air, demanding her attention. Today was the day. She had to choose. After breakfast, Mia found her father sipping coffee at the kitchen table, flipping through the morning paper. As she entered, his eyes lifted from the pages, settling on her with an expression that intertwined hope and concern. "Are you ready for today?" She paused, biting her lip. "I don't know, Dad, I just feel so lost." "Maybe try writing it down," he suggested. "Pros and cons. It's what I used to do for tough decisions." With a small nod, Mia grabbed a notepad from the counter. She needed clarity, a way to see everything laid out. Writing came easier than she thought. She filled pages with dreams, freedom, adventure, new horizons, and fears, loneliness, regrets, leaving her family behind. The paper filled quickly, but as she wrote, a sense of order replaced her chaos. After a while, she leaned back, taking a breath. Looking closely at the notes, she noticed one central theme: connection. What she truly needed was to know she could hold on to her loved ones, even if she ventured out into the world. She carefully crossed out her hesitations and focused on the positives. A new chapter, Mia whispered to herself. A new journey. Suddenly, her phone buzzed on the counter, and the familiar name made her heart leap. It was Lisa. "Hey, ready for some motivational chats before you make your big decision?" Yeah, I just wrote down everything. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel different, Mia replied, her optimism growing. I'll be over in 10. As Mia awaited her friend, the doorbell rang, stirring up a flurry of emotions. Breathless, she flung the door open to reveal Lisa, brimming with excitement. So how are we tackling this? With coffee, chocolate, and a lot of cheering. Mia laughed, feeling the tension ease slightly. Together, they settled on the couch, surrounded by reminders of everything Mia would miss. But the moment wasn't about dwelling on loss. It was about celebrating opportunity that as they talked and bounced ideas around. Mia plucked up the courage to share her thoughts. I think I can do this. I want to chase my dreams, but I need to stay connected to everything that matters to me. Mia, chasing your dreams doesn't mean leaving everything behind, Lisa said, patting her knee. You just have to keep the lines open. You know your family is behind you, right? We're cheering for you. With her friend's encouragement, a surge of confidence surged through her. But beneath it still lurked a fear of the unknown, of losing precious connections. After a rich hour filled with laughter and motivation, Mia finally set her mind to call the Scholarship Foundation. I'm ready to accept, she whispered, contemplating the life waiting on the other end of the line. With trembling fingers, she dialed the number. As the line rang, her heart raced. What if this was it? Would she embrace the change or let fear send her back home? Hello? Is this Mia? The operator's voice brought her back to reality. We were just waiting for your decision. Mia inhaled deeply, feeling the gravity of the moment, her family's support filling the spaces in her heart. She'd come too far to let fear win. I'm ready to accept the scholarship, she said, her voice steady. But as she spoke those words, a nagging thought intruded. Was she really ready for everything that lay ahead? Or would her heart always be searching for home? And with every detail confirmed, she hung up, unsure if relief or anxiety would take hold. The answer was still unclear, but Mia knew her journey was just beginning, and the next steps would define who she would become. As they left the diner, her heart thrummed with anticipation, mingling with doubt. Would she find the balance between her newfound freedom and the warmth of family? The question lingered, urging her forward into the tumultuous waters of change. What awaited her on the other side? The following week felt like a whirlwind. Mia tried to keep up with her classes, friends, and the chaotic excitement of her upcoming departure. Each day, her phone buzzed with messages from Lisa and the scholarship team, while her parents beamed with pride, every smile a reminder of the support that buoyed her. Yet the nights were the hardest. Alone in her room, Mia stared at the ceiling, lost in thought. The space around her felt smaller, a comforting cocoon that soon would give way to the world beyond. She wondered how the unfamiliar would feel, if the freedom would overshadow her longing for home. A knot formed in her stomach whenever she imagined that first day, stepping onto campus, surrounded by strangers. Would she belong? One evening, she and her parents sat together for dinner, a simple meal but thick with unspoken emotions. The clatter of forks against plates seemed louder in the silence, punctuated by the sound of her father's deep sigh. Mia, he started hesitantly. Are you nervous? Yeah, just the change. It's all happening so fast, she admitted, pushing her peas around her plate, avoiding their gaze. Your mom and I are proud of you, he said, his voice steady. This is a huge step forward. You're going to do amazing things. Mia's heart swelled, but it was quickly overshadowed by a wave of sadness. What if I forget how to come home? Her mother reached out, squeezing her hand. You won't forget us. We're always here for you. And connections? They can grow, not just fade. That moment eased some of her fears, but it didn't erase them entirely. Over the next days, Mia packed her bags, folding clothes she'd need and items that held memories, her old stuffed elephant, a framed photo of her with Lisa in a silly pose. Each item made her heart swell, then ache. Would bringing these things with her be enough to bridge the gap between her past and the unknown? Finally, the day arrived. The car ride to the campus was a blend of excitement and apprehension. As they pulled into the parking lot, her heart raced, each bump in the road echoing her internal conflict. Mia looked out the window at students moving about, laughing, chatting, and already forming connections. A stranger's world. Once they parked, her family gathered around for one last picture. They fit in close, smiles plastered on their faces, but Mia's heart felt heavy. She felt far away already, like she was drifting away before she even left. Okay, go make your mark, her father said cheerfully, clapping her on the back. Mia nodded reluctantly, stepping away towards the dorm. She turned back one last time, her chest tight, as her family waved, looking small against the backdrop. The excited chatter faded into a pulsing silence, leaving only their cheers echoing in her mind. As she walked towards her new home, doubt crept back in a familiar whisper. What if she wasn't strong enough to survive this? The new friends she would meet, the classes that would challenge her, each corner felt like an unknown territory. Just as she reached the door of her dorm, her phone buzzed, and her heart skipped. It was a message from Lisa. Go, Mia. You're destined for this. Don't look back. In that moment, a flicker of belief ignited. She pushed the door open and stepped inside, embracing the smell of fresh paint and new possibilities swirling around her. What she didn't expect was the thumping sound of her heart still searching for a sense of belonging, even in the midst of excitement. With one last look at her phone, she bit her lip, ready to face whatever lay ahead. But would her yearning for home remain a shadow, or would it transform into a guiding light in her adventure? The question hung in the air as she entered, leaving Mia both excited and uncertain about what awaited her inside. Would she emerge stronger, or find herself lost in the vast expanse of change? Inside the dorm, Mia was greeted by the bustling energy of her new environment. Other students were chatting, laughing, dragging bags in and out. It felt like a scene from a movie, one that she was now a part of. But as she stood just inside the door, she felt like an outsider looking in. Taking a deep breath, Mia stepped further into the space. The common area was decorated with bright colors and posters, remnants of the personalities that filled it. She could hear snippets of conversations, laughter bubbling up from a group gathered around a small table, sharing stories and plans for the weekend. It was a different world, yet she felt her heart race with a mix of excitement and fear. Hey, you must be the new girl. A voice broke through her thoughts. A girl with bright red hair appeared, her hands resting on her hips. I'm Katie, your roommate. Welcome to our wonderful little corner of chaos. Mia managed to smile, her nerves feeling slightly less constricting. Thanks. I'm Mia. It's nice to be here. Katie's energy was infectious. She quickly ushered Mia through a quick tour of the dorm. We got a shared bathroom, and down the hall, there's a lounge with snacks, and even a TV. Oh, and wait till you see our view. It's killer. Despite her initial hesitation, Mia felt a small spark of enthusiasm grow. It was just a small piece of her new life, but it was something. Their room wasn't large, but it had a window that overlooked a nearby patch of green grass and trees swaying gently in the breeze. A reminder of home. Perhaps, as the day wore on, Mia met more people. Each introduction was a tiny victory, but with each smile exchanged, the weight in her chest eased just a little. By the time dinner rolled around, Mia found herself sitting with Katie and a handful of others in the cafeteria. They were in the middle of a debate about pizza toppings when Mia caught herself laughing, a genuine, carefree burst of laughter that surprised even her. Yet, just as quickly as the laughter came, the familiar longing for her family swept back in. The conversations around her, the vibrant energy, felt like a distraction from the ache of homesickness. During a short pause in the chatter, she focused on her plate, feeling the heat of tears rising, unsure if she could hold them back. Hey, you okay? Katie nudged her. Mia quickly returned to the present, flashing a smile. Yeah, I'm fine. Just adjusting. Katie reached over, giving her a light poke. Trust me, we've all been there. It gets easier, I promise. Just remember, we're all figuring it out together. Mia nodded, grateful for the support, but still feeling the ghost of her old life hovering just behind her. As she returned to her room later that night, the walls felt a little more familiar than before. She settled down, pulling out the photo of her and Lisa, a reminder of everything that had come before. But just as she was beginning to feel the calming embrace of memories, her phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen, and her heartbeat quickened in anticipation. A message from her mom. We miss you already. How's everything? Remember, no matter what, you're not alone. Tears pooled in Mia's eyes, but they were mixed with something else, strength, perhaps, or hope. She stared at the photograph, the laughter in Lisa's captured grin comforting her. Maybe this journey was meant to be about finding herself, not just in distance, but in connections. 2.as, she tucked her phone away. Mia felt a flicker of determination. She would share her light with this new place. She would make connections that could bridge the gap between where she was and where she wanted to be. Standing before her own reflection, if she could just hold on a little longer to that flickering spark, she might just find her way home again. But deep inside, a question remained. Would her quest for belonging feel like a new adventure, or would it always be a struggle against what she left behind? The next morning, sunlight spilled through Mia's window, the golden rays breaking through her sleepy haze. She stretched and took a moment, breathing in the unfamiliar scent of fresh linens mixed with the faint aroma of coffee wafting in from the common area. Today was a new chance, she reminded herself, a fresh start. After a quick shower, she slipped on a comfy outfit, jeans and a soft hoodie. A wave of determination washed over her as she glanced in the mirror. Today, she would reach out, not just survive but thrive. Following the sounds of laughter, Mia made her way to the lounge. A few people were sprawled on beanbags, sharing stories and jokes. Katie waved her over. "You've got to join us. We're planning on hitting the campus festival later. You in?" Mia hesitated, her old fears creeping back in. What if they weren't really interested in her? But then, she remembered the warmth of their laughter and the comfort of their camaraderie from last night. "Sure," she said, her voice more confident than she felt. In a flurry of excitement, the group shared ideas about the festival. There would be food stalls, games, music, and even a petting zoo. Mia was surprised to feel a rush of enthusiasm. "What is your favorite part of the festival?" she asked. "Definitely the food. You'll have to try the giant pretzels," Katie replied, her eyes lighting up. "And the live bands, they're amazing." As they talked, Mia found herself laughing and engaging with everyone, her earlier worries slowly dissipating. It felt good to connect, like she was carving a niche for herself in this new world. Later that day, as they prepared to leave for the festival, Mia's phone buzzed again. It was a group chat message from her family back home. Pictures from her little brother's soccer game, her dad at the grill, everyone smiling. A pang of nostalgia hit her, but the warmth from her new friends anchored her. This is change, she thought, not loss. She could be a part of both worlds. The festival, vibrant colors swirled around her. Laughter and music filled the air like a warm blanket. Mia and her friends dashed from booth to booth, sampling everything from caramel apples to cotton candy. They even tried to win a giant stuffed bear at a ring toss game. But Mia's tosses were more enthusiastic than accurate. "You've got to work on that aim," one of her friends joked, but his grin was genuine, encouraging. "Maybe I just need more practice," Mia laughed. The laughter felt so right. In this moment, she was part of something bigger than herself. As they finished their rounds, Mia felt a surge of energy. She was finding her place, her laughter mingling with theirs. The void left by her family felt less heavy, filled slightly by this new connection. Maybe this was what home could feel like. She pondered as dusk began to settle in. The laughter faded into a softer, reflective hum. Mia found herself drawn to the stage where live music was about to start. The crowd swelled with anticipation. She could see Katie bouncing on her toes, clearly excited. All around her, faces glowed with thrill and happiness, and for a moment, she forgot everything, the longing, the fear. But just as the music began, Mia spotted a figure in the distance. Her heart skipped. Someone who looked so familiar before she could process her thoughts. The crowd surged, and Mia was drawn away from that figure. Who was it? What did it mean? Her heart raced again, but this time it was different. It was a mix of fear and exhilaration. What would this encounter lead to? Would it pull her back to the past, or push her further into her new life? With questions swirling in her mind, Mia took a deep breath, the music guiding her into the moment. The night was just beginning, and all she could do was embrace what lay ahead. But the face still lingered in her mind, a haunting reminder. Who was that? And what was about to change? The music erupted into the vibrant colors of the night, each note dancing through the air. Mia stood there, heart thumping, trying to shake the image of that familiar figure. Was it real, or just a trick of the illuminating lights? Around her, laughter pierced through the haze of her thoughts. She felt Katie's hand on her shoulder. "Mia, are you okay? You seem a bit spaced out." Mia forced a smile, nodding, but her mind raced. Yeah, just excited, I guess. Here, let us grab some food before the good stuff runs out. Katie pulled her toward a food stall. The smell of fried dough and savory spices wrapped around them like a warm hug. But as they waited in line, Mia's gaze drifted back to the crowd, searching for that face. Pretty sure I saw you with your head in the clouds again, a voice teased. It was Matt, another friend from their group. He was balancing a large plate of nachos precariously in his hands. What has got you so distracted? Mia chuckled lightly. Oh, just wondering. The words danced on her lips for a moment before she tucked them back inside. She wasn't sure how to explain this rush of memories. After they ordered, she nibbled on a giant pretzel, the salty crunch snapping her back to the moment. Spirits were high already, and amidst the chaos of voices and laughter, she felt a flicker of something familiar, excitement mixed with trepidation. It felt both freeing and terrifying. As her friends bonded over silly festival games, Mia searched again for that figure, her heart yearning for clarity. Then, through the crowd, she caught a glimmer of movement. There it was, the silhouette. She squinted, recognizing that it was definitely a person, but lost in the pulsating throng of people. Her pulse quickened. Should she approach? Or would it send her tumbling back into things she wasn't ready to confront? Still, an undeniable force pulled her. Just as she was about to step forward, chaos erupted around the stage as the music transitioned into an uproar of excitement. Wow, this band is legendary! Katie screamed, pulling Mia back to the moment. Let us dance. The joyous scene filled the air again, laughter and music weaving together. Mia felt herself being swept away, the infectious energy from her friends surrounding her like a shield. For a fleeting moment, she forgot everything else. But that familiar figure haunted her vision, every flicker of light against the crowd now veiling their identity. She couldn't shake the feeling of impending confrontation. What did it mean? Who was it? Mia stayed in that moment, dancing, laughing, letting the worry flow away. Who knew what tomorrow would bring? Halfway through a song, she felt her phone buzz against her hip. She pulled it out to see a message. It was a picture from home, her family laughing at a backyard barbecue. Tears threatened to spill. She swallowed them down. This was supposed to be her fresh start. She was finding joy, but how could she embrace it fully when the past lingered like a shadow? With a deep breath, she resolved to stay present. But as she tuned back into the music, her eyes flickered back to the crowd, and her heart skipped once more. There it was again. That same silhouette emerged, heading toward the stage. Before she could catch her breath, Mia heard a familiar laugh. It resonated through the chaos, piercing the anxious fog around her. She turned, breathless, hope and fear intermingling like the lights overhead. Was this really happening? Who was it? As shock coursed through her, a moment of truth was inching closer, pulling her heartbeat into a frenzy. Would this encounter finally reveal what she was so desperately searching for? Or would it force her to confront shadows from her past she was not ready to face? Mia's heart raced, and she stood rooted in her spot, the noise fading into a distant roar. The next heartbeat could change everything. Mia felt as though time had stopped. The laughter around her faded into a distant echo, replaced by the rapid thump of her heart in her ears. That laugh, a sound she had thought she'd locked away in the recesses of her mind, crashed into her senses like a wave. Adrenaline coursed through her, a mixture of dread and anticipation. She turned to face the source, her breath hitched, and there he was, Ethan. The boy who had once painted her world in vivid strokes of laughter and love, now standing just feet away, a ghost from a bygone summer. His brown eyes seemed to catch the light, sparkling in a way that made her heart leap and shatter all at once. Mia? He called out, as though testing the sound of her name on his lips, unsure if it still fit. Mia, come on. Don't just stand there. Katie called, pulling on her arm, but the world had shrunk to a point of singular focus. It was just her and him. Ethan, she managed to breathe out, barely audible over the music. The word felt foreign yet familiar, wrapped in sweet memories and bitter reminders. His smile faltered, uncertainty crossing his face. I didn't think I'd see you here. The tentative joy in his voice was overshadowed by unspoken apologies. Mia's mind spun. She wanted to feel anger for the hurt he had caused, but that was buried beneath the shock of having him here, now. The upbeat rhythms of the festival danced all around them, but they stood wrapped in an invisible force field, caught in a moment that felt both fragile and monumental. Yeah, well, this is my fresh start, she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. How about you? Ethan rubbed the back of his neck, a habit she remembered too well. Trying to find my way back just like you, I guess. He paused, weighing his next words carefully. I'm sorry, Mia, for everything. The sincerity in his gaze tugged at something deep within her. Memories flooded back his laughter, their secret late-night talks, the way she felt invincible when they were together. And yet, scars lingered on her heart, reminders of trust broken and promises unkept. A part of her wanted to reach out, to rekindle the warmth they once shared. But another part screamed to retreat, to protect herself from the chaos that understanding often brings. I need time, she stammered, not sure if she wanted to run or step closer. There's a lot we need to talk about, but Ethan nodded, his expression shifting to something more resigned, yet hopeful. I'm here for you, whenever you're ready. Just don't disappear again. With that, a subtle shift returned them to the festival's lively atmosphere. Muffled cheers vibrated through the air as another band took the stage, bright flashes illuminating the space. Yet, the euphoric buzz around her faded slightly, now tinged with uncertainty, a tightrope strung between past and present. Hey, are you coming? Katie's voice broke through again, urgency creeping into her tone. The next band is starting, and we're not missing this. Mia glanced back at Ethan, torn between the comfort of friendship and the thrill of uncertainty. She could feel the energy of the crowd pulling her like gravity. Let us dance, she exclaimed, forcing herself to sound cheerful, though there was a flicker of doubt in her heart. As she turned away, casting one last glance at Ethan, she felt a tidal wave of emotions roll through her. What had she just opened up? And could this really be the closure she had longed for? Tonight was supposed to be fun, her fresh start, but what if it was more than that? What if it led to something deeper, something she had avoided for far too long? Taking a deep breath, Mia stepped into the chaos of her friends, the music washing over her. But she knew she had a decision to make, one that could change everything. With the night unfolding, she was left wondering, was she ready to confront the past? Or was it time to simply let go? Mia's heart raced as she finally lost herself in the rhythm of the music. The bass pulsed like her heartbeat, every beat pulling her further into the crowd and drowning out the flicker of doubt in her mind. Katie pulled her along, a whirlwind of excitement. Laughter, cheers, and the distant echoes of familiar songs wrapped around them like a blanket. But no matter how much she danced, a part of her lingered with Ethan's gaze as the band started playing. Mia had to fight to shake off the bittersweet memories that threatened to seep back in. She twirled and clapped her hands, her friends joining in joyously, but her mind kept drifting back to that moment. The way Ethan's smile had softened at the edges, how his eyes held a blend of hope and regret, it was all there, tantalizing and unnerving. Hey, smile, or I'm telling everyone you're a grump, Katie joked, snapping Mia out of her reverie. Mia forced a bright smile, laughter bubbling forth. Fine, I'll dance, but only if you promise not to embarrass me. She shot back, lending her energy to the fun around her. The music swelled, and for a few precious moments, she let herself be overtaken by the joy of the festival. Colors blurred around her, laughter mingled in the air, and she felt lighter, almost free. But every now and then, she would catch Ethan's silhouette lingering at the edge of her sight, and her heart would skip. It was an uncontainable mix of longing and uncertainty that as their group danced and sang along. Mia spotted Ethan weaving through the crowd, a smile creeping back onto his face as he embraced the chaos. In that moment, the sight of him illuminated all the unresolved feelings stacked in her heart. She wanted to believe in second chances, yet the thought of placing herself back into the realm of heartbreak paralyzed her. Let us grab some water, Katie yelled over the music, tugging Mia toward a stall. Mia followed but couldn't help glancing back. Ethan was looking her way, his expression unreadable. They stood in line, and as they waited, Katie's voice broke through her thoughts. You were so lost in your head back there. What is going on with you and Ethan? Spill. Mia hesitated, the weight of her emotions pressing down on her. I don't know, she finally admitted. I mean, he shows up out of nowhere, and... She sighed, searching for the right words. It just feels complicated. Complicated? Girl, you were practically glowing when he was near. Katie laughed, but there was sincerity in her eyes. Isn't that worth exploring? You can't keep running from it. Mia bit her lip, trying to suppress the storm inside her. What if it's just more heartbreak waiting to happen? But what if it's not? Katie replied, her voice softening. What if it's exactly what you need? You can't be afraid of what could happen. You've got to take that leap, Mia. You deserve to find out. Mia nodded quietly, contemplating Katie's words. A part of her yearned for reconciliation, the possibility of forgiveness. There was so much to figure out, so many feelings to untangle. Could she really do this again? Learn to trust after everything? Just as she opened her mouth to respond, the band struck a final, exhilarating chord, and the crowd erupted into cheers, drowning her out. But her heart pounded with realization she was standing at a crossroads. With a deep breath, she turned back to the crowd, searching for Ethan in the sea of faces. In that moment, she understood that she held the power to decide her own path. Would she be brave enough to confront the past and take the risk for a chance at something wonderful? Or would she retreat, letting fear win again? Feeling a sudden rush of courage, she began to move. The music flowed through her, igniting her spirit as she searched for him, determined to find the answers she so desperately needed. But as she stepped deeper into the festival, she wondered, what if all she found was more confusion, or worse, an even deeper wound? Would this fresh start reveal healing, or dive her back into chaos? The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, casting a warm glow over the festival's lively chaos. Mia wove through the throngs of laughter and noise, her heart pounding like a bass drum beneath her ribcage. Every move felt electric, charged with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was ready to confront the tangled web of emotions, the thrill of new connections, and the remnants of what once was. Scanning the crowd, she finally spotted Ethan, his familiar silhouette standing at the edge of the dance floor, watching her intently. A sense of determination took root in her chest. She could no longer let fear dictate her steps. Only one thing left to do: face him head on. As she approached, the noise faded, replaced by the sound of their shared memories echoing in her mind. Mia, he called, a sparkle of recognition illuminating his features. It nearly knocked the breath from her lungs. There he was, the boy who once made her feel like the world was brimming with possibilities. Mia, I am so glad you're here, Ethan stammered, a hint of vulnerability weaving through his confident facade. The memory of their laughter, their secrets, the way he made her feel alive flooded back. Suddenly, the weight of the past didn't feel so heavy. Ethan, she began, taking a deep breath, it was a surprise seeing you tonight. The honesty behind her words cut through the air, refreshing like a spring breeze. I didn't plan on coming, but his eyes sparkled like stars emanating hope. I wanted to see how you were. I've missed you, you know. Mia trembled a little at those words. They were sweet, yet filled with an ache. I've missed you too, but things have changed, she replied cautiously. You changed me. Ethan lowered his gaze, a shadow passing over him. I know I messed up. I've been trying to figure things out. I'm sorry, Mia, for everything. For the way we ended things. You deserve better. The intimacy of those words felt like a wave washing over her, stirring up feelings she thought she had buried deep. And I kept running, she admitted, her vulnerability exposing the cracks in her facade. But I don't want to keep pretending that I'm not affected by everything. I don't want you to pretend, he insisted, stepping closer. You deserve to feel everything. And if that includes me, I want to be part of your journey. I want to be better for you. His sincerity sparked something inside her, like embers suddenly igniting into flames. And in that moment, everything shifted. She didn't need to decide absolutely just yet. She needed to let feelings unfold naturally. Then just be present, she said softly, gazing into his eyes. Let us see where we go from here. I'm scared, but I want to try. A flicker of hope ignited in Ethan's eyes, and he nodded earnestly. I promise to be here, Mia. One day at a time. The music swelled as they stood together, surrounded by the familiar laughter of friends and new faces. It felt thrilling. The uncertainty that had weighed her down began to lift, replaced by the promise of new beginnings, of reconnecting not just with Ethan, but with herself as well. As they moved back to the festival, dancing together like phoenixes rising from ashes, Mia realized that change didn't mean losing her roots or family. This was a chance to grow wings. With her cheer squad cheering on the sidelines, her heart raced with newfound strength. She was no longer just the all-American girl facing tragedy, she was a force reborn. Though her heart still carried the scars of the past, it now ached for hope instead of sorrow. She sensed that this journey with Ethan could be a part of a love story rewritten not defined by what went wrong, but by resilience, healing, and laughter. The vibrant night surrounded them, music wrapping her like a quilt of warmth. As Mia and Ethan danced, they intertwined hope, laughter, and a ready willingness to explore. And for the first time in a long while, she felt whole. The echoes of her past gently reminding her that home was not a place, but a feeling connected by the love of family and the bonds of those willing to embrace her true self. Mia grinned, her heart swelling with happiness. This was her moment. This was her life. Let's carry this moment forward. If you loved Mia's journey, subscribe immediately so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the dream alive. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this ending. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to support this channel now. Only true fans understand the importance of your involvement. Don't wait, not even one more second to share.